Welcome to the post-match interview following the Team Secret victory against Sengoku Gaming. This does mean that you've secured a spot in knockout stage. How are you and the rest of the team feeling about that?
We feel so great that we are the second seed in the knockout stage, and we will do our best there.
Yeah, and in this particular series, Team Secret came out extremely strong, though it did feel like a bit of a slower start in game number one, considering both teams are usually very aggressive. Did you feel like that, and if so, why?
We just did what we do. We just avoid their team fights because their team fights is so strong at start. So, yeah.
And you are playing with Code this time around as well. Can you tell me a bit about Code's style and maybe how he compares to Tatsuri when laning with him as well on the team?
He's more on the mage jumps. He likes to play Oriana and Ziggs, but yeah, he likes Oriana.
Yeah, the Oriana looking really good there. And you did face off against a very strong jungle mid duo as well. What did you think about that matchup into Sengoku, being that they play around that duo a lot?
I think me and Corey is better than them.
Yeah, well, I think wins can definitely give you that feeling there too. They also brought out a lot of the similar comps that they have had before, very unique to them. What was it like drafting against them, kind of knowing they were sticking with that style?
We At first, well, it's just I think it's just that they like to team fight, and we just avoid them.
Yeah, you read that very well as a team, had the Janna pick there to make sure to keep them at bay. You specifically have had a lot of strong performances on carry junglers like the Lee Sin. What is your preferred play style in the context of Team Secret?
To be honest, I like to tank because I want my teammates to carry me.
I love that. And now I know you as a team, you have the celebration to do, but I know that you love to get down to work in prepping for the next step. Is there any team in particular that you would all prefer to face off against in the quarterfinals?
I would like to face SBTC because they defeated us on the Summer Super Cup, so we want to get revenge on them.
That was a great series to watch too. And we have a lot of fans of Team Secret both working on the broadcast and watching as well. Would you like to say anything to those that have been supporting you all throughout the entire group stage?
Thank you for supporting Team Secret, and please keep supporting us, and shout out to my girlfriend Selena.
Yeah, you heard that here, folks. Keep on supporting Team Secret. We do have more Horizon Cup to come. Stay tuned.
There's only one thing left to say. Let's go, Tribe. Bring that victory home.
There's WWE's Cesaro still showing his pride in Tribe and ready for our last matchup of the day. It's pretty sudden death here for Tribe and SBTC as both sit at 0-2 heading into this match. Both teams seem to need to address the issue around the team identity. So Iraqi, let's have you go first on the North American side.
Yeah, as much as I love Tribe, I'm going to be a little heavy-handed, as my biggest issue with how Tribe has performed so far has been how they've performed and played seemingly different, both in draft and stylistically. I don't know if it's the influence of the new coach they added on, or if it's this time spent in the SEA region, both practicing and scrimming. Maybe a combination of a little of both, but they've gone from playing lanes like the Varus Nami, the Zyra Rakans, to playing Braum almost every single game. And I mean, stylistically speaking, that's a big shift away from playing around the Dragon lane with really oppressive matchups that can push the advantage early game to a lot more bruiser, CC focused compositions. And it makes me wonder how much of that has to do with their confidence levels, if maybe that has been hurt by the negative results in scrims, or it could simply be that they think this new look is actually a better way of playing the game. I'm not too sure. I think results wise, it obviously hasn't worked out great for them up to this point, but they still have a chance here against the SBTC Esports. So I'm hoping they go out in full throttle, leave no regrets behind, and play with confidence. I mean, come on, Tribe, you still have time to redeem an A.
Well, that's what it seems like Chuck is saying. He tweeted out earlier that they're going to do their best. They're going to play and leave it all out, regardless of all the memes that NA has been producing for him. So on the opposite side of the docket, though, we've got our SBTC fanboy logging on. That was my TJ impression, just in case you didn't know. TJ, go ahead.
I hated it. One of the most important things about SBTC is that they are a Vietnamese team. And if you've followed mobile esports, you'll know that the Vietnamese region is one of the most impressive regions in mobile esports. When we talk about Southeast Asia being dominant, we're really talking about 3 sub-regions within Southeast Asia. You normally see great performances out of Thailand, Taiwan, and most importantly, most regularly, Vietnam. So I'm going to be blunt here. If SBTC go out losing to Tribe Gaming in the group stage of the first international Wild Rift event, it will be quite possibly the worst Vietnamese international performance ever in a mobile esport.
Especially given the fact how high the expectations were, not of just the region, but of this team specifically coming into the tournament, all the changes that were happening to some of the other teams. So TJ, how do they fix it?
Well, I want to see them return to their bread and butter. I want to see them, much like Tribe, go back to the aggression that made them a top regional team. Play through TF's ability to get into lanes early and set up for team fights. Play through the fact that you have incredible duelists in the mid lane. You have Julie, who is capable of winning a 1v1 against any other champion on any other team. And yet, we're playing defense. We're waiting for the late game. We're scaling. I need to see SBTC leverage the fact that they have incredible team fights and incredible mechanical players and stop playing too narrow. Stop playing to the top side and their weaknesses.
All right, well, it seems like we've had both of our coaches, cheerleaders, analysts putting their mind on the side of the team that they believe is going to win. But let's make it official. Let's go with the predictions first. Rocky Zoro, you're up. Who you got winning this crucial matchup?
I'm not too sure if I wholeheartedly believe in this, but I want to stick by Tribe. They are my region's representative, and I want to believe in them. I want to have faith, so I'm going to go ahead and say 2-1 to Tribe Gaming.
I mean, Zora, I get it. You not only do not even admit to believing it right now, you also put 2-1. It wasn't even a 2-0. I got where you're laying down. What you really mean is this: 2-0 SBTC. The return starts now as SBTC are going to win out the rest of the group stage. They're going to get into knockouts. They're back. They're scaling for the entire tournament.
Yeah, you might have seen 2-1 there. That he's
That is
obviously
not what I
changified.
said. That is not what I said. Production is lying to you.
Well, you know what? I know a couple guys that won't lie to us. The guys bringing you the action for the final series of the day. Let's send it on over to Grandin and Omo.
I love the faith you have in us, D-God. Hopefully we don't lie to you, but Omo, I'm thinking, well, me being in support of SBTC might turn out to be a lie. Let's see how things play out.
No lies here at all. And I'm going to tell you, I am fully aligned with Thomas James, TJ himself. It's going to be a 2-0. SBTC, they're going to bring it back. They're going to get into playoffs, and they're going to show us why they were a team to be feared coming into Horizon Cup.
It's sudden death for both these teams. Teams that lose at this stage are effectively out of the competition.
Yes.
Pack your bags, get ready to go home. You might have one more game, but that game doesn't mean as much as it does now. It is sudden death. If you win this game for either of these two teams, your destiny is in your own hands.
That's right.
If you don't win this game, well, it's out of your hands. Whatever happens, I think there are
I think
some.
you're out. I think mathematically, if you
I
lose
think
this
there are
game,
some worlds
wow.
in Group A, at least, with the way that things have played out so far. There are some situations and some scenarios where you could potentially get some weird tiebreaker scenario, but then that is out of your hands. So both these teams absolutely have to win this game.
Definitely, and like the analyst desk was saying as well, this is it for both of these regions.
Can you do a TJ impression as you say
I
that?
can't. I'm really bad at doing TJ impressions. He's too calm. I'm too excited. We're very different
I
people.
feel like he is a very excitable person, just like
in a different way.
in a weird, yeah.
in a weird serial killer, quiet way. I'm sorry, TJ, but yeah. So Tribe Gaming, the pride and joy of North America. They are the last rep standing. SCA, we have a little bit more leeway. We still have Team Secret. They've got us covered. But still, we want to see our first seed. We want to see SBTC perform.
But what's happened here? SBTC have been playing the exact same style that they played in the SEA Championships, yet it hasn't been working.
Yeah.
Is it the quality of their opponents, or is it the meta has shifted too much and they haven't been adapting?
Well, I think there's a couple of factors to break down here, Grandin. One, meta has been shifting, like you said, and they haven't adapted that well. Picks like Graves, Jax, that's something we need to see them pick up more off and more on. Next up, quality of opponents. Definitely the best Chinese teams, the best Korean teams. Not an easy task to beat at all. And finally, I hate to say it, but not having Minus here with them has been hurting them. Unero, he's had some off performances. He's been bullied really hard by KT Roaster, by Darkun Gaming. Hopefully not by Chuck here.
Okay, now here's the thing though. Tribe Gaming like to play their own style. They'll play whatever they want to play. They don't
Which
care
is
what
great.
you say
Yeah.
is the meta. They believe and firmly believe in their own
Like Akshan?
analysis, their own beliefs, and that's why SBTC had banned out the Akshan. Is this actually going to be a blessing for SBTC?
Well, I think it's two things. Firstly, it's fear of the unknown. You don't want to fight against what you don't know well. The better the devil that you do know than the one that you don't. Secondly, with the style that Vietnam plays, with the style that SBTC plays, we love to brawl, we love to fight. Akshan with that reset mechanic, bringing your teammates back from beyond the grave. You don't really want to see that in a game where you're brawling a lot.
Well, let's see what SBTC want to go for that first pick. Ziggs still the only champion with that 100%
right.
ban rate. Whereas Yasuo, what was the stat here? Almost 7 games in what?
That's right, that's what our producers told us. Yasuo has been picked 7 times, and he has lost each and every one of those games, Grandin.
Just give it over to Julie.
Just like my solo queue Yasuo is what I want to say. There's actually no difference at all from that stat and the solo queue Yasuo that I see daily.
SBTC are going to prioritize the Renekton because that champion actually has a good win rate
Yes,
and has
sir.
been one of the few
I
dominant
think he's
Baron
close to
laners.
100% pickback.
Yes,
Not quite, but
close.
Yeah.
And it's something like a 58% win rate or something like that. And it's one of those few that actually has been consistently up. In this game, however, we actually see stuff like the Riven and Camille still available.
Yeah, let's break this down really quickly. Renekton, he's gonna try to be a shield here in the Baron lane for SBTC, but this TF first pick, that should strike concern, that should strike fear into your heart, because what are you gonna pair it with? A strong Baron lane pick like Camille that can take over the game, that can play split push, that can play side lanes, and Unero, once again, the burden is on him. Can you withstand the onslaught? Can you withstand the aggression in your lane?
So it's important how this Baron Lane matchup is going to go, but at the same time, let's take a look back towards SBTC because they have loved to play stuff like this Diana.
Yes.
And with the Ziggs being removed, do you feel like they have to prioritize things like the Kai'Sa, like the Xayah, stuff that can hyper carry, or is it enough to go for something that has more wave clear and just play it safe?
Well, that's the thing, right? I think for both of these teams, both of those are very viable options, and they don't really matter as much. To be perfectly honest, it's not that important. If you can't snatch the Ziggs, you can't snatch the Senna, you don't care as much. What do you want? I want Riven. I want Diana to counter Twisted Fate. I want Camille into Renekton. You want all these bruiser picks, and that has been the team of the tournament so far. Better bruiser wins.
Well, we've seen Orianna as a counter for Twisted Fate. How does the Diana kind of fit in that space?
I think if you call back to the KT Roaster series where they were playing against SBTC, that tells you basically all you need to know. Twisted Fate, he's going to be trying to pot to his team, push out the waves, while Diana, she's going to be lurking in every little bush. She's going to be trying to get on you, trade on you, give you a hard time when you're trying to push, when you're trying to move. And that's the nature of the matchup here. One's trying to kill you, one's trying to leave the lane, get out of dodge.
Well, Braum comes in for
Braum is
Tribe.
great here.
That is going to be a nice pickup. And pairing that with something like the Graves could be nice. Instead, they go for the Olaf. Quite a Tribe gaming signature pick.
Yeah, as a SBTC fan, as a SCA fan, I'm a little bit concerned right now. This Braum Olaf pick does so well into everything SBTC have shown already. You want to dive into an Olaf and a Braum, you're not going to have a good time. I do like the adaptation for Kiro. Swapping to the Ezreal Janna here is going to do a pretty good job at shutting down dive attempts, and you're going to be bullying your lane. Whatever you pair with Braum here, Ezreal Janna are going to have an okay time into that, unless it's something like a Lucian. Varus is still fine, because you can play from range. Might get poked out a bit, but double range into one melee bot lane is always going to go the double range favor.
And Tribe Gaming looks like they have a lot of pickoff. They have the opportunity to take down SBTC in these choke points if they manage to find them isolated and caught off alone. But SBTC, I mean, looking at this team fighting, I just love seeing what we have in store for us, especially when I see that Riven piloted by TF here.
Yes,
Potentially,
yes.
I am so excited to see how this plays out.
Key points to look out for: TF here on this Riven, Julie here on this Diana. They're going to be the playmakers, they're going to be the stars, and that fits the identity which SBTC want to be playing around. So that's great stuff from them. On the other hand, though, I want to call back to the last game. Level 1 invade from Team Secret. This time around, Tribe Gaming, they're drafting themselves Braum, Twisted Fate, and Olaf. If that doesn't scream level 1 invade, I don't know what does.
SBTC, they better watch their backs. They better watch where they're going because Tribe Gaming, well, backs against the wall, both these teams need this win, and they'll do anything to get it, Omo. It might be a 5-man invade, it might be a 5-man gank, whatever needs to be done. And we've seen the North American region, they'll play 5-man mid any day. It's ARAM all day.
That's why they call it the NARAM, Grandin. Things don't change.
Things don't change. Let's see how things will play out. We've touched so much in SBTC. The fact that TF and Julie are prime playmakers. What's going to happen for Tribe Gaming? Is it going to come down to the Twisted Fate, or are we going to see more action from this Camille?
A lot of pressure going to be on T-Tigers, and I think that is what you won. If you're Tribe Gaming, you won the pace of the game.
So neither of those two options I gave you. You pick a third
Grandin,
one.
I'm sorry, man. This is why I'm the color caster. T-Tigers, he's going to be leading the pace of the game, and everyone else on his team is going to be marching to the beat of his drums. Twisted Fate coming to stun people for you. Braum coming to mock people for you, and it's going to be, ideally, for Tribe Gaming, the Olaf show.
So get that Olaf up to a point of power where he's going to be able to impact things and change the pace of this game.
A little more than that, hopefully. Hopefully he gets the 1v9 this game.
Really? Were we really expecting that much from Tribe
That's
Gaming?
the goal.
Is
That's
that what
the
they
goal
need
for
to do?
Olaf. That's what the Olaf wants to do. I can tell you right now, if I'm playing Olaf in this game, I'm saying, you guys just play for me, just be my dogs, I will carry you.
I feel like that's something like you might be a little Cruella in you.
I just wish I have 100 Dalmatians, but I only have 4. That's what T-Tigers is thinking right now.
Making sure your teammates are going to be there to empower you, making sure that you have every one of your team there to back you up, support you. Because both these guys, well, SBTC not only have not been able to find a series, haven't been able to find a game.
Yeah, that's honestly disappointing, but hold that thought.
Oh,
What are we seeing
and
right now?
let's go! Go cut on to Julie! And that's the North American special Tribe Gaming with First Blood.
I don't know what to tell you here. It's beyond obvious what's going to happen at level 1, and Julie walks right into it. That just should never happen.
Surely, though, SBTC were telling themselves there's no way this was going to happen, and yet it absolutely did. So that's a strong start for Tribe Gaming. Goes over to starting. It doesn't exactly go over to T-Tigers, but I think he's going to be happy with that either way.
You're going to be happy with that because that secures you a good roam timing. With your Rod Aegis, you're likely going to recall with Destiny at level 5, come back to lane somewhere around 3:15, 3:30, and you're going to be looking to make a play there. Now, keep that in mind. 2 minutes from now, 3 minutes from now, I'm going to either look like a genius or an idiot.
Okay, well, so far, I think Trump is doing an amazing job against Gennaro. Being able to shove out the Renekton early on, I think that's just a bad sign to start the game with. Surely could go a different way, but with that being said though, I am still looking forward to seeing Renekton pop up. He needs to have that captain's performance.
Now, Grandin, I don't want to bring back any bad flashbacks here, any bad memories, traumatic memories, but the last time you never played this matchup, you got soul killed at level 4 by Intel. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of that.
Oh, looks like a gank from T-Tigers. They're looking to dodge top side. Yunaro's going to flash away preemptively. Gets to safety, but Tribe don't have to commit much for it at all.
Look, I can tell you for a fact that hold that thought. You're going to see a stun before this.
I think Tribe Gaming, they're looking for this, especially because TF, he's going to get caught by the gold card. That's damage going through from T-Tigers as it dashes away the fella from TF, gets him back on the turn, but Julie has to commit his flash as well to find a wild card, and Tribe Gaming with a 2-0 start.
I don't know what to tell you right now. SBTC, they just look desync. It looks like things
Tell me we have a chance, Omo.
We do. We, the SEA region, standing behind SBTC, do have a chance. I can tell you it's not looking great, though.
But yet, Tribe Gaming have come in here, really swinging strategies that seem a little bit obvious. We kind of called it that to begin with, and yet SBTC...
Maybe it's because we're really smart. Yeah, we're just really, really smart.
I don't want to discredit SBTC to that extent, though, but let's talk a little bit about that. You know, the fact that Tribe Gaming were able to get away with that, usually we see that punished. How now can SBTC try to punish the aggression and the moves that Tribe Gaming are making?
It's the Kiro show. That's all I can tell you right now. You're going to have a very hard time for both Rock as well as Alpha in the early stages. 0-2 here for Julie. TF behind in goals and Olaf. That's never a situation you want to be in. Gennaro running his flash in this matchup yet again. It's all down to Kiro.
And so friendship with Julie and Gennaro terminated. Are we now? is Kiro now your best friend?
Has always been my best friend.
Always been your best friend.
I'm not a snake or anything. I'm not abandoning my friends. I think Julie here on this Diana, there's still a very big potential for him to find the back line if he gets a good flank on, and to shut down Starfling in the side lane later on. That's the things we're going to be looking for. And what's that timing window right now? 3 minutes in game, 30 seconds earlier than I expected. Look at where Starfling opened on the map. Base roller, run straight to the top lane, looks for an opportunity. Doesn't find anything? It's okay. We back off. Chuck is weak. I have a timing window in the next 15 seconds, 20 seconds to make a play. Pick anyone off now. That'll get it.
But importantly, Julie misses the chance to go and catch the wave, to shove out the wave because he's had to go and kind of match starting, make sure that he isn't able to get that gank up towards the top side. And you talk about timing windows well, your neutral objectives spawning up in about half a minute. This means these teams are going to have to start prioritizing either the Rift Child or the Dragon. And with it being a Cloud Drake, I think it's kind of obvious which side they're going to go.
Brandon, I'm going to be honest with you, though. Both teams want this Rift Herald, but Tribe Gaming, they have to pick up the litter here. Anything that they want to take the world is their oyster. Anywhere the T-Tigers goes, SBTC have to leave. It's that simple.
Well, they're playing towards that side. You see Tribe Gaming also getting some control towards the mid lane, and it's pretty obvious, like you mentioned, what's going to happen, what the case is going to be. TF doing the best that he can to zone out and get some control around the river.
Well, you know SBTC, they love to prove me wrong. I say they can't contest T-Tigers, and somehow they force them out of the river. I don't really know what's going on here.
Looks like Tribe don't want to push their luck here.
He wants to buy the Death Dance first, so they're in no rush to make a play. They're saying, let me get your power spike, Olaf. We'll play around you. When you feel ready to go, just let us know, and we will run it down.
Well, the handshake exchanges.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Max Green's stuff in spell charge, by the way. I love always seeing that. I think this is the first time we've been capturing this game, so this is the first chance that we really get to mention this. But such an aggressive option.
It is. It really is a very aggressive option. It does two things. One, you don't really need the flash as a bomb in the context of the you should always be the aggressor, never the one on the reacting side, the reactive side. So you never need flash to escape, and you want to be aggressive, just jump on top of your Olaf. It's that simple. Rift Herald here is going to be pretty nice for SBTC.
Green towards the Baron lane, that's popping his redemption, making sure that we get this first turret. They have this could be the Rift Herald as well, but just not commit for this. The other side of the match looking for a fight as well, looking to take down Julie, who's diving back there, a couple ball attacks, but the fight's away. He gets out, and starting not able to finish off the kill. He's gonna pop behind him.
Oh my!
Undertow comes across, and just playing in between the wild cards on a nice edge starting, looking to get caught out. It's a Kiro show. He's here to clean things up. Barrier comes through, but the final one of that cannot be stopped, no matter how many gold cards you have.
I love that. It was very clean stuff from Julie. He dives back in on Olaf to try to pick up a kill there as well. Because Kirill, he gets the push, he comes down, saving Private Julie, he saves his mid laner, and finally SBTC, they are on the ball.
Surely he deserves a promotion after that performance.
Saving Cockroach Julie.
All
Doesn't
right.
have the same ring to it.
Doesn't have the same ring to it, but either way, I'll take it. Julie holds his own there, and that's actually going to stifle Starting's power. Now the gold gap has been diminished. This SBTC are now ahead in gold. Tribe Gaming with a very interesting move to push into the jungle, into the bottom side of the map here.
This is fine. We need T-Tigers to be the one leading the charge. Running it down on this Olaf.
I love this trade. SBTC say, I don't care about the Dragon Link tower, I'm going mid instead.
Yeah, this is really great stuff. They're funneling themselves where it should be. Chuck is going to be happy trading the turret for himself. Looks like SBTC don't get it.
Turret might be going down. Max Green holds his own Glacial Fissure as well as Chains of Corruption come across. But Tribe Gaming won't be able to find a pickoff.
Slippery fingers? I don't really know what to tell you there. Tribe Gaming just come in, they miss all their skill shots, and they back off. Not the best case scenario for either one of these teams, but SBTC, I think they're happy with how this one is playing out. The only downside here is that Chuck is getting love so far.
And a bit of a problem for Unero, even at the start of this game, for this flank angle, things are looking dicey. Tribe Gaming have all 5 in the mid lane once again. So it means SBTC are not willing to commit to this exchange.
I think that if this SBTC, if they were sitting at a scoreline of 2-0 instead of 0-2 right now, they would have died that turret. Confidence a bit lacking, decisiveness a bit lacking, that killer instinct that we love from SBTC, a little bit lacking yesterday. That's fine. Given the context of their autonomy run so far, given the context of all the pressure that's weighing on them, completely understand why they didn't put it.
And to specify, we're not talking about the scoreline, not about the kill line, it's about
their match score.
About their match score, where they stand in this competition.
Yeah.
It truly is sudden death right now. SBTC, the first seed out of the Southeast Asian region, they can't let TC just run them by. They have to have at least something to show for themselves as well.
At least get into the knockout stages, man.
Well, Tribe Gaming, they're not willing to go down without a fight. They came in here with some big claims, prepared to show the world exactly where they're at. This is their platform, this is their chance to do it.
Yeah, and I think that this is the best situation for them to possibly do it. I think some concerns about how the state of the game is progressing for them with the lead that they have. I don't know how T-Tigers is behind in gold or TF right now. That should not be happening. This man needs to be doing more, and his team is getting into that.
Julie's in here trying to hold the turret. 1 versus 3 goes into stasis. Has to stop one, so he buys so much time. But stuck in the hashtag ultimatum. Team not there to back him up in the mid lane, though. They trade for old school and get the turret as well.
They misclicked there. Truly misclicked his, I don't know what the name of the spell is, the Q, the Crescent Moonstrike thing. He missed that on the Tigers, or he might have been able to go back in. But the name of the game right now for SBTC is trading. You take our top, we take your mid, we take your bot. One of the best trade deals, if not the best trade deal in the history of trade deals.
And Kiro gets move up.
And Kiro gets move up. We take those as well.
We take those. But more importantly, Dragon and second Rift Tower now available. Both of them are going to be coming up. Let's take a look at the edge replay to see how this one played out in the mid lane.
Alright, yeah, just, you know, he should not have been there. That's the main thing. Ultimately is caught in some type of position he should not have been in. He gets a little bit greedy. He wants to shoot a piercing arrow for good measure. TF says you are not allowed to do that. That's pretty illegal. And he takes him down.
Surely thinking that a Chains of Corruption were going to save him. They get enough space to build from himself. Try looking at his second dragon of the game, Julie a little bit far away. No ultimate as well. This is really bad here.
He just slow on the play, and this means that Tribe will get to contest this as well.
Looking to plot in somewhere as well. There we go, getting a little bit closer. You know, doing the best that you can to zone them out, but starting locking in the gold card. They're looking for this touch line. TM gets the Rift Tower, but to get initial lockdown, taking down Julie. The Moonfall comes across, but it's way too late. Akil coming in now big as well. Tribe Gaming started flashing forward aggressively. Kiro, he has to put on the damage numbers, and now Charlie joining into the fight. And triple kill coming through, available. A little bit more for Kiro. He just needs the last hit. He gets the quadra kill. Does that turn out to be better?
No, stolen!
Stolen away. It's your Nero that takes it away.
It's a heartbreaker. We saw it earlier today for Chewy, and now again for Kiro. This man is untouched in the team fight. Now pay attention. How Kiro plays out in this team fight. Untouched, gets out of dodge, repositions, waits out wrong shield, shoots the two-shot barrage. Could have aimed that a little bit better, but this is a character. What did he say, Brandon? Ezreal is the carry here. No one can touch him. You go for Julie, Kiro will kill you. This is why he is my new best friend, and this is the man I'm cheering for to carry this game with the quad.
Your new best friend? I thought you said he was the best friend all the way. What happened? What's changed? Well, Tribe Gaming, that's what's changed. They're coming in here aggressively, not afraid to take a fight. Good moves coming in from TF. Max Green almost goes down. They actually trade back for Chuck there. TF maybe looking for something again, but it's difficult when you have the whole tribe right behind him.
The whole tribe right behind him, and fine. Deacon said we're not supposed to be liars here. This is why Kiro has always been my best friend. I don't want to come back to the game right now. I want to pay attention to what's going on here. Stasis and Charmin from Kiro. That's a big one. Keep in mind, how can the Ezreal die in this team composition? No ulti, hashtag ultimatum is the only way you die. That's what denies that. Exactly, the Hourglass just completely nullifies that. And what other engage spells do you have? You have an Olaf and a Twisted Fate running at you. And they're running into a Janna. So Kiro, it's going to be a field day for him. He's close to picking up the block. That will be his third item. And this Ezreal, he's online, right?
Absolutely, he's online, he's gaming. I mean, I hope he is.
I'm
not sure how else he's on his phone playing right now if he's not online.
Yeah. Great joke there.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. TF looking for an engage here. They're getting corralled into the bomb side. Things are looking a little bit dangerous for Tribe Gaming.
Oh, man. It's going to be a big loss if TF makes a play here. But if they don't make a play, look at Chuck in the barrel. He's getting so much
Hero loses a lot of HP quickly, has to flash out.
Yeah, Old School was just not positioning well this game. He's been getting caught up way too much. Forced to burn his flash. This is going to be a tier 2.
That's going to be ranked to block. Looking for something here. Nice block from Max Green. Gonna happen here. Turret's gonna go down, but is that gonna be more? Julie's in there. Maybe find something, but a stun card stops him right there.
That's an interesting one, alright. I think he might have been afraid of the stun card. That's a fair consideration. But right now, SBTC firmly in the driver's seat for the first time this tournament. They are in the lead, Brandon.
But Tribe Gaming, Chuck's gone back to defend. He's not looking to split push.
Yeah.
That top side could have been a major pain point for SBTC, but now Tribe have let go of that pressure point.
Yeah, and the thing is, Brandon, Chuck has been getting a lot of solo farm. He's been getting a lot of solo EXP. If those team fights that had happened, Unero was so far behind. But because they were winning team fights consistently, Unero's ahead in both levels and gold.
Ahead in both levels in gold, but despite that, T-Tigers, we saw what happened when you have multiple people collapsing in. They are still an absolute force to be reckoned with. Their kits alone kind of negate the gold disadvantage a little bit. So it's still nice to see if Tribe are able to play with Chuck and T-Tigers together. That's a powerful duel.
So we've been talking a lot about SBTC. Let's bring it back a notch. What can Tribe Gaming do right here? And now this time around, I think they have several real options to them. Rapid Fire Cannon being starting is a big one. Flashbang down for TF is a big one. This just should not happen.
Yeah, forcing an engage here. Mastery is out here with the Glacial Vision. Try and build for some space. Julie goes to the back line. He's taking down T-Tigers. That's the damage source gone. And looks like Tribe Gaming are falling apart into pieces. SBTC have fully come online.
And this is SBTC. This is Vietnam. It took them a long time to get warmed up, but it looks like they might be just going for it.
The hand warmers are coming in clutch here. Almost SBTC on the victory march onto the Nexus. And they finally will find themselves their very first win in the Horizon Cup.
Signs of life for SBTC. This is what we have all been waiting for. We've been talking about this team for how long now? A week, I think, Brandon. We've been talking about Julie. We've been talking about TF, but in this game, it is Kirill who comes up big. The pivot on the Ezreal Janna and the last 2 picks of the draft saved the day for SBTC there. An amazing performance from them.
Look at how calm SBTC are. They know this is not the end of the road. This is still another game to be played, at least another game to be played. Yeah, if they to close out this series.
Just one more.
Just one more.
Just one more.
SBTC, no. This is not the end. They need to keep things going, keep the momentum going, and figure out and isolate exactly what worked for them and keep that running.
Yeah, exactly, Brandon. And I think SBTC as well, I quite like the draft. I quite like the gameplay. I do have some issues with what we saw from Tribe Gaming. I thought their draft was really good. I thought the Olaf Braum pivot was really good. I think they just had to do a bit more, be a bit more proactive. You cannot be playing afraid when your backs are to the wall. You need to just see the opportunity, pull the trigger, and go for it.
And we saw some instances where Chuck had to come back to assist his team because they were worried that if he wasn't there, the game could have ended. But as a result of that, SBTC were able to get away scot-free. What should have been a place for them to get punished, what could have potentially been an inhibitor, was instead Chuck going back to defend the base with his team, and SBTC, they get to reset, come back, and take a fight on their terms.
Yeah, that's the big thing here. Next game, I want to see SBTC keep up the form they're showing. Be a bit more careful about where you're misstepping, but still keep the aggression. Same thing for Tribe Gaming. Your backs are to the wall. This is it. Do or die. Your last chance at playoffs. You cannot be playing scared at a time like this. You have to go all in.
I think I figured it out, Omo. We all need a little bit of blue on us if it means SBTC are going to be able to rep that win. TJ, I know you're absolutely ecstatic about that happening. With that being said, I think that's the cue for us to toss it over to the State Farm Analyst Desk to break down how SBTC have found that first win.
Thank you very much, and here you go, TJ. Go ahead, say it.
SBTC are back! I'm good now.
All right, let's take a look at the standings. Just to remind everyone here what is at stake. Nothing's done yet. It's a best-of-3 series, so the first game going over to SBTC, but Tribe still can work their way on back through in the Group A standings because, again, these are the 2 teams that are at the bottom of the standings here, Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, this was Tribe and still is Tribe's last chance. I loved that they have been playing really aggressive or played really aggressive in that game. But as you can see on your screen, SBTC Esports and Tribe Gaming have both lost 2 games. No wins yet on the board. SBTC looking to score their first. But going back to the aggression point, there's a slogan that the NA fans are going to recognize, which is no fear, just fight. And that is the spirit that Tribe came out with in the early game. Even ended up with a 2K gold advantage around 3 to 4 minutes. And even TF had a really early rod, which is a huge into scaling into the side lane. But unfortunately, it all just was not enough.
But then, TJ, it seemed like Tribe might have stumbled upon a little bit of fear.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. You know, I'm split here. I am an American. I am a Tribe Gaming fan, genuinely. And we saw them return to their form. They did show up in the early game. They did demonstrate the aggression that won them so much regionally. And they tried to teamfight SBTC. And they went for that play down bottom, and it didn't work out. And all of a sudden, we were living in a world where SBTC were fighting mechanically in team fights into Tribe Gaming. And we finally saw the individual skill of those SBTC players that has felt shackled to weirdly slow macro, to frankly out of character play this entire tournament. We saw the team fight around the Rift Herald where Kirill finally got to play the AD carry that he's been begging to play all tournament. No more Varus jail. It's Ezreal from here on out.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights from that last game to open the series. Because again, as we said, no fear early on, level 1, first blood. And Rocky, you said it earlier in the match that had the same level 1 crash in the middle. You're like, this looks like NA scripts.
Yeah, in true NA fashion, they head to the mid lane looking for an early pick and find it thanks to the gold card coming out of the TF and the CC. This was another really pivotal moment. Yeah, no, they did. Another very pivotal moment in the game. Had they found that kill, it actually could have meant a lot for Tribe, because they would have been able to take the tower right afterwards and trade it with the tower that SBTC got on the other side of the map. But Diana did outplay.
And the second you see that kill go over down bottom, the turret get picked up top, then you're living in a world where Kirill's doing damage, and that leads into this team fight where watch Kirill. This entire team fight, he's just untouched. He's just gaming, D-God. He's just hitting the attack button and good things are happening. It's incredible, and it's exactly the team fight style that SBTC dominated on for so long.
I think Ezreal in this draft was really huge, because he was not set behind at all in the early game. And while I'm talking a lot about Tribe, I do want to highlight the amazing things that SBTC did in the form of Kira having an amazing performance, almost landing at Penta, got really close. Only was the quadra kill, but the Ezreal, the ribbon, which is another downfall of Tribe, is they don't play it, and a downfall of the general North American meta, showing once and once again, if it gets through draft, Tribe don't really pick it, and it goes to the opposite team.
And we've drawn a comparison actually here between these two teams because they are in a similar place of trying to kind of recapture their mojo. And I felt like there was a moment during that game where SBTC got that survival down bottom, then turned that into a kill. And all of a sudden, the old SBTC was back, and I mean that not just in results, but in terms of the way they were playing. You started seeing Julie go forward in those later team fights for maybe the first time this tournament, trying to find angles and team fight ults that would win them games.
Yeah, and again, it was a tale of two teams trying to figure it out. Tribe figured it out early, lost it, while SBTC took it on back. All right, gotta ask here. How do we work our way back here, Rocky? I'm starting with you because TJ's just been gloating in the studio, man.
I mean, I think they started the game on the right foot, but they could not keep up with SBTC's macro. So if they do a little bit of reconsideration for how to trade the towers 1-for-1 instead of taking one top tower and then losing mid and bot at the same time, or just finding other plays that don't cost you so much, instead of just getting out straight out macroed by SBTC, that will probably be one of the things that Tribe will need to reevaluate.
TJ, final thoughts before we toss to this game two?
Tribe Gaming looked good when they were playing aggressive, looked good when they were challenging SBTC. If they have a chance in this game too, it's exactly that. Throw SBTC off their game, keep them on the defensive.
All right, well, in a moment, we will see if SBTC Esports can keep it going, so be sure to check out their fan-voted battle anthem, Empires by Ruel, and the rest of the teams competing at the Horizon Cup on the official Horizon Cup playlist on Spotify. All right, guys, nothing left to do except to send it on over to our very excited casters, because I'm sure they're going to call it, unbiased and very straight, as good casters should. Grandin and Nomo, take it away.
Digon, I have a few choice words for that. I don't think unbiased is anything close to the truth.
What? Unbiased? Let's go, SBTC. Your backs are against the wall. Can you pull off the 2-0? Conversely, Tribe Gaming, backs against the wall as well. Can you show something off here today? At least take a game.
But that being said, one part that you were absolutely right for is that we are definitely
So
excited.
excited.
I don't know if you can hear in Omo's voice. If
I'm
you can,
ready
you might
to
have to
go.
get your ears checked.
After this game, assuming SBTC wins, I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna change my black shirt for a pink one, and I'm gonna jump in there with them and start celebrating.
Yeah, you're just gonna
100%.
infiltrate the group. Right, I think if you actually run in a straight line, you might be able to get on stage from here, Omo. But let's take things back and dial it back a little bit because we still have more matches
We're on
to be
match
played.
point.
SBTC up against Tribe Gaming. SBTC, they had the right idea in mind. get rid of that Akshan and Tribe, well, it seems like they haven't been able to find another strategy that's worked for them as well.
Yeah, the Galio ban is a really good one. That's something we didn't quite touch on in the last game as well, because it enables two strategies here for Tribe Game. One, you don't get to play against the Galio mid, which is so annoying sometimes, and you don't let Max Green get this playmaker, which is both effective with or without the center. So I think denying his ability to do things here is going to be a key point for SBTC, forcing him on something like a drop where he can't make plays. I think that's where you're happy to be.
Interesting enough, Tribe continue with the Yasuo ban. They say we don't want to play against that Julie. It doesn't
We
matter
don't want
what
to play
the
against a
stats
0% win rate champion.
It doesn't matter what the stats are.
Yeah.
Julie's gonna make it look good. We saw how he piloted the Diana in the last game. And while SBTC continue to hold that first pick, Renekton seems like an incredible option for SBTC.
Hey, why not, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think you're perfectly happy. Running back the Renekton here. And I think that's the thing, right? That's the thing with the Renekton pick. When you play it against top laners or barrel laners who won't punish you, it looks effective. You do the job in team fights, you tank, you do damage, dash, 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 stun someone. But when you play against someone like Mattel, when you play against top tier teams, your Narrows Renekton gets punished. And Tribe Gaming wants to prove they still have some gas in the tank. I need to see some punishment coming down onto the barrel lane.
Okay, Renekton banned out, but that leaves a couple of options
Darius.
for SBTC. Not just Darius. I'm looking at a Fiora option. I'm looking at Camille option. I'm looking at Riven options. SBTC, they have first pick of the litter for it all, but
Brandon,
Tribe,
I don't know.
they get a lot back.
Yeah, I don't know about this one here, Brandon. Right, couple of reasons for this. Camille, you ban away the Galio yourself. You don't get the roaming mid laner or support to really pair along with your Hextech out to make them. But Tribe Gaming, they can easily take Fiora, Twisted Fate here, and heavily punish Lunaro. I think that's going to be a pain point for them, and I think that that's something the Tribe Gaming, okay, are just going to prove me completely wrong. Pivoting to the Darius, they're going to say, Chuck, you do your thing here. We saw earlier today, this Azar Darius completely dumpstering against Sengoku Gaming's Camille. So this might be a possibility here for Chuck as well.
Even against both Baron leaders from Sengoku, Mochi and Kai, Azar was able to have an incredible performance. While looking to see if Chunk can do the same, having T-Tigers be that focal point wasn't the answer for Tribe Gaming. So it seems like they're doubling it back. They're saying, well, okay, maybe the Olaf isn't the answer. How about Zaya?
Okay, so what's going on here from Tribe Gaming, right? Let's break it down. It's not a good draft, but you can see the idea. You got a clear weak side top, you got a clear strong side bot. You have one game plan in mind. We're gonna let Old School and Max Green pop up and carry this game. We're gonna run Zyra Khan. We're gonna let our Baron do his thing. Now SBTC, it's a very big change of pace for them. They want to attack top side this time. Can they do it?
But let's give some benefit of the doubt to Tribe Gaming now. Let's try and break down why you say it's not a good draft, but you see those ideas.
Well, you're picking these champions too early. You're showing your Zaya too early. And why is Zaya not picked early? Because there's a million counters for her. Vayne, Varus. Okay, well, there's just two. But those are big ones, right? Those are big counters to her. And that's something we could possibly see from Kiro after his amazing performance last game. And I want to tell you, Brendan, these first three picks from SBTC, chef's kiss. I love it. So strong. Tooth Fate Lee Sin, you control basically every mid-jungle matchup, and you have a field day going up to the Baron lane and punishing whoever is there.
In fact, we had expected Tribe Gaming to pick up the Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
Take that one away.
I mean, they clearly showed that they wanted to go for a different angle, right? We are playing for bot lane. That's the game plan here for Tribe Gaming. And I mean, I'm not a fan of their draft, but I can understand their game plan, and I can understand why they do it.
Okay.
Their backs are to the wall. They want ease of execution. They say, we are just going to go, go, go. We're going to run it in. We're going to 5v5 you, and we're going to make it easy for us to pop off and succeed. And all the eggs here, right now at least, are in the basket of Old School. I want to see something a little bit more spectacular here for starting as well. I think he really needs to have a standout performance. What options are there for him? I think Orianna is going to be a big one, but I'm not sure if that's something he prioritizes.
Well, SBTC, they get Kiro back on this as well. He looks good on this champion. Aquino, one of the few to really make that Thresh work. One that was stolen away from him before in his earlier matches, I believe, against, was it Thunder Talk? I think somewhere along those lines. Either way, he gets to go back on this pickoff champion. Tribe Gaming finish up the composition with this Diana, and I'm looking at it, Omo. I see this Darius. I see the Vi, the Rakan, the Diana. It looks like TJ was right. Break the action to SBTC. Just fight all day.
Yeah, I like the draft coming in from the side of Tribe Gaming now. I think this fifth pick here kind of saved it, but also because the 4-5 pivot from SBTC this time around, not quite ideal. You pick the trash here to really do one thing, to bully the Zyra Rakan. But you're pairing him for Ezreal. He's not a bully in any sense of the word. He's a very nice guy. He's gonna, take you out for dinner and everything. He's gonna talk to your mom. He's gonna be friends with your friends and whatnot. He's not a bully, is what I'm trying to say here. So this trash doesn't really make sense.
That was a long roundabout way.
You know
going
me,
about
I love going all around before I get to my point. This Diana as well, I think there's no answers for her here. It's only the Lee Sin Cake with Dragon's Ring. That's it. And when Diana, Rakan, Vi all diving onto your backline, what can you really do? I think you don't have options on the side of SBTC.
You know what? SBTC, though, are going back to a composition that looks very reminiscent of what we've seen from them before. And Tribe Gaming, while it looks like they've pulled out all the stops, this is peak Tribe Gaming drafting here.
This is Send It.
And here's the thing, Omo. This, against other teams in Horizon Cup so far, seems like a red kind of drafting style. You know, against other teams like we've seen from the East so far, that in their performance in this competition, this seems a little bit lackluster. But is this the look that we need to see from both these teams to keep this going?
At this point, backs against the wall. I know I've said that like 600 times already, but you can't describe it any better than that. This is do or die. You have to just send it. And I like what Tribe Gaming have drafted. Now, can they execute? I like what they drafted last game as well. The draft wasn't the issue there, but they just didn't execute on the plan.
I know you love this term, ease of execution. What does it
This
look
is
like
as
for Tribe
easy
Gaming?
as it gets. 5 presses R, everyone just piles on top of that. Really don't get any easier than that. If you can't execute this, then I'm sorry, Tribe, you know, the time is up. But if you can pull this off, I think this is an feasible game for Tribe Gaming.
And it seems like SBTC's final pivot into that Ezreal that has seen them a lot of success in that first game might be a little bit damaging to the
Exactly,
overall identity.
Brandon. I'm so proud of you. That's exactly the point here, right? Confidence is a big factor. You're saying, I popped off an Ezreal last game. Give it to me, coach. I will run this game. But that's not really the case here, is it? It doesn't quite match well with the trash pickup. It doesn't do too well into Vi because she follows you regardless of where you S and shift to. Maybe pick something like a Varus, maybe pick something like a, I don't know, maybe even a Kai'Sa will kind of work here because you just want to send it as well. But with that said, though, Hero had an amazing performance. Let's see if he can do it again.
Well, initial move's not going to be the same. Tribe Gaming will not send 5 mid. I just want to give a little shout out to this Vi pickup because I've been watching Arcane, I've been enjoying myself.
Yeah, I know, and I haven't watched it yet, so no spoilers.
Act 1 you have, right?
Act 1 I have,
Okay,
that's right.
not Act 2.
Yeah. What is this though that we're seeing? A bit of a leash here from Kiro and Aquino means that they lose out on ball and Cryo. Max Green in a very threatening position.
But then, despite that, he's still back off.
What is
Max
this?
Gonna go back to the initial kind of default summoner spell.
Yeah, this time around you're pulling Rakan. You want the flash. You need the flash. So I think that was a wrong specific thing when he was doing the heal exhaust. He did it before as well. This time around, he needs the flash. It's gonna be a big thing.
It's a different dynamic because he was a huge initiator for his team. Was now with this, well, let me change that around.
I wasn't umming at you. I was umming at Aquino.
No, I misspoke. He wasn't a huge engage for his team. He's a huge engage option now as his Rakan, but previously as the Braum, he was there to block out damage, soak stuff up, and power the rest of his team. But now the onus is on Max Green to make things happen.
Yeah, big tree pretty narrow, and you see just like that, he loses control of the wave. He loses wave access, and that's a big problem because if you're mid jump on dive lane, you had fast control the lane. Most will get focused.
But look at what TF is doing right now. He's gone up to the top side, says, you might have punished my top laner, but I will punish you right back.
No.
Flashing forward, looking for the final hit to take down Old School, but instead they find Max Green to get the first on the board. The Tigers flashes in with the Saw and Battery, looking for the return kill back onto Aquino. A little bit more for the Assassin's Force will find them and net them the kill, and yet it's not going to be enough. Looking at a little bit more from T-Tigers, but he's going to barely get away.
My heart kind of dropped right now.
Oh my goodness, starting. Gets this kill, but it's so risky here.
They're all so low. A sliver of health on T-Tiger starting. Old School as well. Keep in mind, he survived this fight with 1 HP. And that is a huge win for Tribe Gaming. They barely get the win, but they get it nonetheless. And that means that you lose the wave on the side of Kiro. That helps to stabilize the state of the game right now, because look at his gold. Even losing the wave, he's so far ahead of Old School. Well, I say so far, but it's a Let's take a look at this fight right now. How did this actually play start off? Old School got keep in mind that you can't afford to do that in a game with stakes as high as this. And as we can see, Hero and Aquino, they're just calling back off right now because they know the move is coming in from starting. They could have taken that 2v1, but with starting that 13-2v3, that's not something they want to do.
It's so important that Kiro was put behind, like you mentioned. I'm going to just quickly pivot away from that point because it looks like Chuck might get taken down. Julie's going to teleport over. Instead, TF goes down. It's an exchange back, but 2 over to Tribe Gaming.
Yeah, very bad dive there from the side of SBTC. Julie SBTC doesn't even make his way up. He says the fight is over. Starting, I think, was threatening him a bit as well, so he wasn't quite able to use the Destiny Gate. So two things, mistime and misexecution from SBTC, which is why I was skeptical that he dropped it around the top lane. This is Unero, not Minus. This is not your star player. Unero is no slouch, but if you want to beat the best teams in the world, you need to let your stars excel. That's your jungle, that's your mid, that's your enemy.
Let's take a look at how this fight happens again, because with that upper hand, they were able to reset the aggro. You see T-Tigers appear in the top side of the map. Was that the support Chuck that he loses a bit of the wave, but T-Tigers gets that gold instead, so you can see now with this fight, finding himself a little bit further ahead. Getting close to that Triforce, not going for defensive options, says we want to fight.
Akino was putting so much pressure down in this lane. Forget what I said.
Yeah. Goes on to old school, forces the Featherstorm, gets caught by the charm instead, and under turret, held in place is Tribe Gaming with yet another kill.
And that's a bit of a disaster. He got a bit too greedy right there. Very well played from Max to chain the crowd control and set up the Featherstorm from old school. With that said though, that is going to be Tribe Gaming. Evening the gold up. They're not going to get to a lead just yet, but they're evening the gold up. Needs a dragon, and it seems like SBTC, they want to contest this one. Will they be in time?
And we mentioned earlier on, Tribe Gaming have the ease of execution on their side. SBTC though, let's talk a little bit about this, because Dragon goes over to Tribe. No pressure from SBTC on that end. What's the ease of execution for SBTC look like?
Brandon, I don't even want to talk about that right now, because Tribe Gaming, they're going to get it all. They're going to get the Dragon, they're going to get the Rift Herald. Clearly, the ease of execution is not easy enough. Because they're giving everything up.
A lot of it is going to come down to how well they rotate around the map, how well they're able to set up these lanes, the map pressure, the macro, all of this on the line for SBTC. Whereas Tribe Gaming, it's simple. You go for these fights, you engage, you have so many tools that help you lock down your targets in place. And as a result, Dragon and Rift Herald both over the Tribe. It's looking like a fantastic start as Tribe Gaming come into the brand new look.
Tribe Gaming doing well right now. They need to keep this pace up. Now, we're going to see both sides in turrets get traded. But SBTC, they have to be aware right now. The Rift Herald is still available for T-Tigers. Now, if you ever make a mistake somewhere, that's a tier 2 turret gone. That's your mid lane tier 1. So you have to be very careful, because this is the timing for Tribe Gaming to take over the game.
Heavily invested into old school as well. You can see he has a decent amount of this gold. He's going to be the one outputting a lot of the damage, especially as SBTC want to play into him, are going to take the fight to him. Those feathers are going to be a deadly trap locked into place, and once they pull back, SBTC can kind of pack things up and get ready for the next game. So have to be a little bit cautious about how they get into these fights.
Yeah, Brandon, I think the way we need to split this up right now, the way we need to break this down, what SBTC needs to identify as well, is that at this point in the game, you can no longer team fight into Tribe Gaming. You need to just answer on the side, and that's what Unero can do.
Right.
Goliath.
He's going in. He's actually going to look for this fight. The upper hand comes across, but nice pull, good chop, and a good amount of damage as SBTC look for a response. But Tribe Gaming just get to walk away.
I don't really know how that occurred.
Okay, Gold Card onto starting. It looks like the response, the focus is going to be towards the top side as they look to take down the TF. Takes down TF. What happens here?
This is the repeat of last game. Starting says Julie can do it, I can do it better. He goes 1v2 and gets the kill for himself. It looks like SBTC one on.
Beautiful use of the Featherstorm pots and dodges away from the Gold Card. Flash from Aquino. Death Sentence misses. It's the re-engage to Max Green. And SBTC try, but too aggressive for that to handle Kiro. He dashes in and has the flash out, but it's the counter flash from Chuck with the final kill. The execution, ease of execution in favor of Tribe Gaming, as a return dunk will not be enough. That's Chuck coming in big.
Brandon, what do we love to see from SBTC? We love to see the aggression, the decisiveness. What do we not quite love to see? What does not spark joy? The over-aggression, the forcing of plays that you have no need and no right to be making. This is amazing here from Starting. Use the barrier bait and the shield time perfectly. We try to take a play here, 2v2. This looks good. The play is back off. Destiny Gate tells you that reinforcements are coming to Tribe Gaming as well, but you still try to force the play of the old school. The play is over, that's it! And they get punished. Right? Trying to
You asked where the Gold Card was, old school dodges away from it.
I mean, well, I say brilliant, but it's pretty standard stuff. It's just over forced.
It's critical. Absolutely had to make that play. Things would have gone very bad if not.
this as well, Unero, he flashes forward, he kills Spot, and gets taken down himself. Here we go.
Forcing a fight here, they're looking to take down Starting, but still with the Moonfall is able to respond. Good damage on
Kiro
Unero, takes him down. Akino is gone as well, but Kiro gets the chance to free hit, and that means SBTC have a chance to take this fight. Battlestorm comes back up. That's the gold card to lock him back into place. You can dodge it once, but not a second time. SBTC with 4.
And SBTC, they sacrifice Tempo on the map to get momentum and make a play. They make a move on mid lane. They lose 3 at the end of the day. They get the fight win, but they are not in a condition to defend the turret. Well, I say that, but Destiny Gate expended. Keep in mind, Chuck was not in the fight, so that was a 5v4 there. And Tribe Gaming still traded pretty evenly. So I think that we have to do that.
Oh my goodness, barely dodges away from the upper hand. Gets caught there, doesn't even have flash to get out. SBTC have been willing to take these fights, and yet it seems like Tribe are the ones to come up ahead in most of these exchanges.
Hang on a second, Kiro is an interesting item here. He went with the Ice on God. He's not going to be doing as much damage as last week. He'll have that slow. He's great against Darius, Vi, as well as Diana. The armor's not going to hurt too.
His utility comes up clutch for SBTC if they're able to get this against Tribe and the additional armor against a heavy Asian team. Let's see, trying to pull the trigger. They're looking for the engage. It's a beautiful one. Lay it on with the Moonfall. It's Tribe Gaming. They're finding engage in the Dragon Pit. SBTC set running. Akino off by the side. Julie as well, locking the gold card, but it's not going to be enough as the rest of the team collapse onto him. The not the Death Center, the Dark Passage will find him his escape route. But SBTC lose a critical fight there.
SBTC, they lose the fight, but I think they're surprised that only Narrow dropped at the end of that one. That does mean, though, for Tribe Gaming, they get the mid lane turret, they get the Rift Herald, but they lose the Dragon. That was taken at the end of the day by Narrow. I don't even know how. The man sacrificed his life to pick up the Dragon. I think they're going to call work. Nice little cancel, 3 calls here. SBTC won something.
They've been loving these fights, Hobo. I mean, frankly, SBTC and Tribe Gaming are so aggressive right now. Looks like a catch onto TF. Tigers doesn't have enough to finish off that kill, so instead they hold off. Kiro's gonna try to make some work happen in the mid lane. I know, Ezreal, when you think of heavy sieges, you don't exactly think of Ezreal.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's okay.
He pokes you out before you see your turret. That's the way he does it. Not just hitting your turret directly, but it's still effective. It still works. And I want to lay out the state of the game right now. While we do see a lot of flashy stuff coming in from starting, a lot of flashy plays coming in from SBTC, I want you guys to know that the state of the game right now relies on one thing and one thing only. It's a marksman face-off. Whoever can output more in the next few team fights, Kiro, Old School, between the two of them, is gonna carry his team to a win.
And theoretically, you're supposed to have this Camille that's supposed to get you express visit onto Old School. You know, you're supposed to have visitation rights, get to see this guy. But very frankly, he's been able to dodge out on all of those. He's come up with a million excuses. He says, I don't want to quite see you. I'm just going to do my own thing.
It's not me, it's you. He's not going to lie about it, right? Here we go. They're going to make a play off the Chuck, but I don't know if they have to back.
Okay, Gokhan comes across. There's a lot of crowd control to hold him in place for now. Kiro is that big damage onto the upper hand. They do finish him off, and that's a nice pickup.
Yeah, and Chuck, I mean, if you look at the state of the map right now, T-Tigers and starting 2 members down in the bottom lane. You cannot be showing this far up on the side lane right now in this game. SBTC, they're going to get a turret for themselves. They're going to pull ahead to a 2k gold lead. But all of this doesn't matter, Grandin. This stuff does not matter. It's between Old School and Kiro. Who's going to output more? This is not a team fight. This is just a bit of gold. It still comes down to the next big team fight.
I love the way you're framing this. It doesn't matter. It's 4 players and ADC. That's it. That's how you have to
it genuinely is, because if you look at how this game is going to play out, the 4 players are all trying to kill that one ADC. But you can't kill Kiro. He has to stop watch with Vialti. Nothing else is going to touch him. Moonfall should never touch him. Same thing for Old School. You're going to try to gold card him, you're going to try to kick him, you're going to try to hextech ultimate him, and he has answers for all of those things. With Featherstorm as well as Flash, both of these ADCs should not be touched, and it comes down to this face-off.
Okay, 3 hourglasses completed on the side of SBTC.
You have to, it's Vi.
You have to respect this. Vi, Diana, so many options. They can look to engage onto you. Julie has the rapid fire cannon now, so that's a little bit of a range boost.
Yeah, that's going to be great, because you need to be able to catch people and pick them off. You need to be able to hook them to that, punk them out, set up by the gold card. But what is this? He tries to set up!
Interesting mechanic. T-Tigers is going to look to engage onto Akino, force the flash away to jump onto Max Screen, but the Battle Dance will find Tribe Gaming a safe escape and exit for the jungle.
I just want to pose a question. Why do hard thing when easy thing do trick? Why do you try to interrupt him on the dark passage when you could just hit him?
That's a good point. That's a good point. As much as I love the offense references, I think I don't have time to find a good reply to that.
Yeah, but pay attention to the damage being put out by Starting right now. This man is starting to scale, and he is going to be a serious threat to everyone on team.
Okay, once again, they're going to look for the catch on the shot. It's critical that they find this before the rest of Pride Gaming can come in. The rest of the team now available. That's a re-engage from Max, and once again, the Jets player, all the damage, the crowd control, the spells, the spotlight on the Kiro. He has to deal with Starting over by the back. They manage to take down TF, but Kiro's still alive. He's still healthy. He's chalked up. Chalk walks in into the face of danger and gets pitted in exchange for that. You look at Old School, he has no HP.
And that's the difference between these two team fights right now. What do we say? It's between two marksmen. Who stays alive? I mean, Kiro is alive, but he's too low to do anything. And Old School stays alive, but he's too low to do anything. Kiro can keep outputting the damage. And even though the starting for the fight was about as good as it gets in Pride Gaming, I thought they won that fight. I was kind of mad. I thought that they were gonna wipe SBTC. But I don't know how SBTC they turn it around. And I think it's off the back of Kiro on this Ezreal being uncontested.
Let's take a look at the Axe Effect replay because, well, things start off by them trying to go for Chuck. It's a difficult target to take off. Akino actually gets a really nice hook on the starting and that slows down the tempo a little bit. You can see the double hourglass, how impactful that is.
I know what the problem here is. Old School was forced to use his ulti too early. He needs to play it a bit more on the edge, a bit more on the side so that he doesn't get forced out that early, and that would allow him more space to DPS as the fight progresses. And he's feeling threatened right now, Grandin. He picks up a QSS for himself, so he doesn't need to out for the TF card. He can QSS the TF card and save his out for the Hextech ultimatum or something else.
What's happening? Akino is going to walk in. He walks right in the Tribe Gaming. They're lying away. It's a death rush. Kiro, the next target of focus. They get the lockdown, and the rest of his team cannot save him. He is definitely dead. Tribe with a critical double pick off.
Granted, I didn't talk about the death rush because I thought they knew. The Ezra ulti didn't go into the bush, but I thought they make the assumption that if they're not on Baron, they have to be camping for us. But SBTC, they get a bit greedy.
I mean, they have Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, they have Destiny as well. I can understand why you would want to expand that. This is Tribe Gaming taking the game into their hands.
You have to make a play. TF, it's all down to you to stop this Baron, pick up the rest of your team.
Nice kick.
Is only going to be able to do so much. Unero jumps into the Hextech ultimate and try and buy some time, but difficult for SBTC.
He just needs to stall.
The Baron's going to reset. Tribe Gaming, they don't get much more.
For once, Unero, thank you for ending. That was exactly what you needed to do. You just need to stop them from picking up the Baron, and he does his job.
Okay, I guess that is one way to put it.
No, look, I want to point out something though. The only reason why that went the way of SBTC was because of Drew. Rapid Fire Cannon literally just lets him get the pick off so far away, and he does so much damage while that cannon is picked up. He's the richest person in the game. Part of that is due to the Twisted Fate passive, but also he's been playing so well in these last two games here.
Exactly that. But I also want to kind of look back with SBTC's composition. This Thresh, like you mentioned, just doesn't seem to fit as well in the composition as they might have once hoped.
It really doesn't.
If they wanted to pick off something like the Varus, could have also been an option. Instead, you know, kind of locking in the support hasn't been the biggest utility. You can see what happens. He walked over by the Death Rush. Certain other supports could have escaped in that situation.
Well, Grandin, Trash also has a lantern that you can throw into the Death Brush. I think they would just completely.
If you are in range to toss your lantern in, I'm pretty sure you're in range for the Vial.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point as well. I want to point out really quickly though, these 4 items on Julie means that he needs to take the game into his own hands right now. Earlier on, we were talking about how only the 2 AD carries matter, but with these items, Julie is a serious threat as well. No way you fall for it again!
Double time, run it back, TF gets caught out, that's the engage coming across, Julie gets locked out in place, Kiro set running, that's your damage source gone, and yet they still aren't able to finish off the job. Look at Unero off the side lane.
Yeah, that was desperation from Tribe, but SBTC, they walked right into it. What's the saying? Fool me once, fool me twice, maybe even fool me 3 times here for Julie.
Nice engage there, gets to catch onto the Twisted Fate, like you mentioned, a huge chunk of damage.
No way you go in here.
Absolutely not, I was gonna have to back off.
Things are starting to get a bit messy, and I think the pressure, the nerves, it's starting to get line. So many stakes here on the line. Tournament live for both these teams. Baron gets started off. 30 seconds to Julie. It's a 4v5.
There we go. Things start off again. They have to go for this. They have to stop this. TF loses so much health in the process. Unero joins in, but Chuck is right on his
Kiro's
tail.
dead.
And the fight is not going to go in their favor. Kiro doesn't have anywhere to go. Unero gets taken down. Your damage source is dead. Akino, the next to follow. TF, he's off in the jungle, running away. It's a horror movie. The pursuit is going. Kiro, he needs to do something to stop them. At the very least, Baron is delayed, but not stopped.
And this comp from Tribe Gaming is working out. What did we say? Ease of execution. Easily, I'm losing it as well. I'm losing it just like these two teams. It's easy for you to pull the trigger, and that's exactly what Tribe are finding in this game. Julie gets caught, they keep face-checking these death rushes, and Tribe are just able to constantly pull the trigger over and over again. Yonero's not finding anything on side lanes, and SBTC, they're getting caught in the team fight. It's not a great start.
I have to bring this up, Omo. Double teleport for Unero and TF. They know if this dragon goes the way of Tribe Gaming, the game is going to be over.
Yeah, they need to get here. Baron is one thing, you can't give up both. Dragon Soul as well as the Baron.
Unero's online, he's going to be able to teleport in. Jules TF is a few seconds away. That's Dragon gone, but they have to pull the trigger. Yet it's not available for that. It's gone too soon. And Tribe Gaming with the engage, Kiro falls to starting, and that's it. That's all that she wrote. Tribe Gaming with a triple kill for starting as they find an absolutely amazing pick-off time and time again to take this game.
And Brandon, what did we say? Ease of execution, and don't give Max Green an initiative. He finds the Rakan, he finds the plays, he finds the picks, he finds every amazing teamfight engage. And Tribe Gaming, I think they're going to tie it up.
And these teams are not done yet. Both teams take one game in this series.
One game apiece, we're now going to game 3. I can't think of a more poetic way to end that. Both of these teams, the tournament lives on the line here, Brandon, and it goes to a game 3 to decide it. Whoever loses this one, I think they're all but out of the tournament. Whoever wins this one, their lives are still in their hands.
If they end up losing this series, your fate in the tournament is not in your hands. We'll put it that way. If you do win, you still have a chance. Down the line, SBTC still face off against, I believe, TSM tomorrow. Not an easy opponent, but at the very least, they'll get another shot. We still see another game coming through for Tribe Gaming as well.
And that's the thing, right? We have one more game coming your way. It's going to be the last game of the night, and it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a decider. The pride of SEA versus the only hope of NA. Who's going to be the one to take it?
Well, it looks like that 2-0 prophecy isn't going to come through, but at the very least, I think there is still someone right on the State Farm analyst desk, so let's toss it over to them for them to break this one down.
Thank you, gents. All right, we got ourselves a series, and you could hear it in the sound of the casters' voices and in TJ's pacing all over the studio. When that Baron fight broke out, he was like, oh yeah, they caught the Baron. Okay, Tribe's taking Baron. All right, looks like we're going to game 3. It was good team fighting. Rocky, yeah, baby! NA's on the board!
I can finally breathe. I'm having, it's a breath of fresh air, and they need to close out the series. Still, it's not over, but I love how they went back to super comfort picks. This is literally what I wanted them to do about their final chance. Just play how you usually did in the region. We saw the Zyrakan really infamous for that duo in particular in NA. The Darius for Chuck, literally the reason why I hate the champion and why I fear playing against it so much. We have the Vi for Tiggs and the Diana for starting all over. Finally are able to show a performance like the ones we've seen from them again in the qualifiers up to the Horizon Cup.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the highlights from that last game, it wasn't an easy road all the way through here, DJ.
Yeah, this was a very good game to watch. I think there are a lot of similar problems going on both teams. It feels like communication is falling apart sometimes for SBTC. You see them have the mechanical outplays necessary to win these team fights and decent macro play, and then one person will walk forward. We had that, I think, game-ending failed true shot on the bush near the Baron where the entire team just spews out of the bush and ends SBTC. And that realistically should never happen if your team is all on the same page. So it feels like SBTC are still a little out of it, but it's fun to watch.
Coming into the Horizon Cup, we spoke a little bit about who are the players to highlight on Tribe Gaming? And my answer was starting all over and the duo in the Dragon Lane in old school and max green. The Rakan was so insane in this game. The ulti was getting off the knockups. It really was a beauty to watch, and it makes me beg the question of why did they wait so long? Why were we playing Braum 17 games in a row without flash? Okay, I mean, we could have just done this all game long and maybe had better chances, but I guess we're still in it. And I love this death brush play. They repeated it again afterwards, and it worked the second time around. Yeah, it's a new look for Tribe. It's a lot of confidence, no fear at all, and just aggression and playing to their style.
And I also that was the first time I'd ever seen Starting actually deliver on what he did regionally, internationally. That was a very good performance from Starting. He won some of the 1v1 duels versus Julie. He won some side lane fights. I'm really excited to see more of that.
And that's the big thing we need to remind everyone back home. Although both of these squads struggling, no doubt, here at the Horizon Cup, these are the best from the region when they had their gauntlets and had to beat some of the best out there. So the fact that we're getting here, we're seeing problems on big display, it doesn't mean that they didn't have skill set in the first place, Araki.
Yeah, and while, I'm glad they won a game, they did do a really good job with their aggression. They're still getting outplayed macro-wise around the map. For the longest time, they were falling behind in gold, falling behind in towers and objectives. So the Asian macro is still coming through. I particularly really love how Asian teams have a very good sense for how to take down side lane towers while defending their own and not just giving away free gold. So Tribe will still need to evaluate what is the reason, what is the cause for SBTC's better macro, and try to learn from it, adapt to it, and perhaps have a different approach to third game.
Well, it's not just macro, because micro-wise, Kirill was playing outside of his mind.
And it's been 2 games in a row now, so I want to put a big marker over him heading towards game number 3. Kirill has looked absolutely incredible this series, and this, for the first time, has been SBTC at the Horizon Cup playing to their all-star AD carry. The amount of fights he just sits at the back of and absolutely lays into on picks like this Ezreal has never been higher. I want to see him get the Ezreal again. If he can't get the Ezreal, give me Kirill's Kai'Sa, it's equally good.
I'm really liking the Ezreal. It's coming very out of left field. I don't think we've seen anyone else play it at the Horizon Cup so far, so he's looking amazing on it. It's a really good kiter in team fights, long range, a lot of safety, so he's able to constantly dish out damage without being put in an awkward position where he just gets caught, except for a couple of times, especially the death brush they did earlier, but yeah, really, really good look for Kirill, and this Ezreal pocket pick is showing up huge.
And I think there's something about the international meta that has shifted away from playing to AD carries, and we're starting to see a bounce back of that. We saw it earlier in the KT Rolster series, where all of a sudden it all became about Luna down at the bottom lane, being able to come through on his Corki, and we're seeing it again here in this series. When games go late, when it comes to down to 20-minute team fights, it is all about the AD carries. It is all about players like Kirill on their signature picks.
Well, speaking of 20-minute team fights, when it comes to international play, you just get nervous. You get a little stressed out. Like our friend here in the screen, the man in the wall. Oh, God! There it is.
This is during a win for Araki Zoro as well. This is Araki Zoro
Yes!
winning.
Hands on face, hands on cheeks, and the best cut into the prayer. Oh my goodness! Oh, what are you doing?
Oh, man, I mean,
yes! Oh, these are the moves.
Thank God.
A true NA fan.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you know, a lot of the time you see those commercials, they're like, oh, here are the fans, hands and face. Oh, here's the Viper pose. Rocky, you did all of those. You did all of those, man.
I'm an NA player after all, and if we don't have a good international performance and we don't show the other teams, the other regions, what we can do, it's just going to reflect bad on all of us. So I'm happy that we at least have one good game taken off of SBTC thus far. I really want Tribe to keep going, and I still have faith that they're going to pull out the 2-1 that I predicted prior to the series.
All right, well, here we go to wrap up what has been the best series in all of today. Well, at least for our desk. Let's send it back on over to Brandon and Omo. Take it away, guys.
Let's get it. It's SBTC and Tribe Gaming in the final match of the day. Omo, you said you had some choice words for that.
I don't know if you would call this the best match. I don't know if you guys saw what Iraqi was doing just now. I can tell you it's the same thing here in Singapore. I've been squatting, I've been jumping, I have my face in my hands, I have my hands in my face, I had it all. It's not a fun game for us.
But that's what great esports and great matches are supposed to do. It's supposed to give you those emotions. Because both these teams are fighting for their tournament lives here. As we get ready for our picks and bans, we're once again in the Suntec Convention Center. This is the Horizon Cup, and I don't think they want the journey to end here.
Yeah, I might not say that this is the most exciting or fun game so far, but I can tell you that this is definitely the game with the highest stakes so far. The pride and joy of SEA going up against the only North American reps. And both of these teams, they're fighting for their tournament lives. What's going to change here in Game 3? No way you just run back what was working. Surely you want to change something up. And if I was SBTC, I would remove Rakan 100%.
Here's the thing, SBTC is still on blue side.
Yeah.
So they still have that option.
Yeah.
What's going to change here? Is SBTC still going to look for that Renekton first?
Well, I don't know.
Or
That's
Camille?
the thing, right? Like, I feel like you shouldn't be prioritizing these champions because Unero is not the key point. He's not the focal point of your team. He's a good player, but he's good at being stable. He plays for your team, not the other way around. And I want to see SBTC go back to that style. There we go, banning away the Camille. We're saying we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to first pick it. My concern is that this might have an impact on the confidence of Unero, feeling like your team might trust you is not a good spot to be in. The good thing, though, is draft-wise, this is the way to go.
Okay, but I feel like with SBTC not getting rid of 6, Tribe have to ban that away.
Yes, they put you on the spot. There we go. I love the bans here. Get rid of Rakan, get rid of the Camille. This is where you want to be playing.
And the biggest criticism that we had for expecting Camille was the fact they banned away Yalo themselves. And it seemed like an afterthought that, oh, hey, Camille is up. We expected Tribe to ban it away. And instead, leaving that option available, they didn't have that. There we go. Tribe, they must ban away the Ziggs.
So what is this? This is a, don't tell me this is a Fiora angle, Brandon. I would be
Fiora angle?
I mean, I hope it's a Renekton. There we go. Renekton locked in for Unero. Back to Old Faithful. That's what works for him. Stick to your guns.
Oh, reliable. I think we looked at the C Championships. Something along the lines of an absurd pick rate and win rate for Renekton.
Yeah, and I think the same idea stands here. He still does the same thing. He's tanky, he's reliable, he is a good weak-side champion. Starting his saying I was popping off in the Diana last game. Let me do it again. Now the question is, can you do it without Max Screen to set you up? And you're blind picking at this time. You don't know what Julie's gonna pick into it. He doesn't have the Yasuo available. So what's left for Julie? What would he want to play into the Diana? I think that's the biggest question right now. Now what do you think his options are? Maybe something like Zed, maybe something like maybe even a Riven mid. I wouldn't think that's too out of the picture here, but we'll have to see what he wants to pick up. Main thing I want to touch on right now, TF gets Riven again, so he can carry yet again. And Unero against Chuck, it's going to be a pretty standard matchup. Renekton Darius, it's pretty uninteractive.
Yeah, I think that's where I was going to go. I don't feel like TF is going to look to give that Riven to Julie. Probably wants it for himself. Says, hey man, you know what? I feel like I'm feeling pretty good at this Riven today.
Yeah, I won the game with Riven. Maybe we should just give it to him. And Kiro, he's still feeling himself. He still wants to perform on that Ezreal.
The hope of SBTC.
Yeah, I mean, he knows there's no Zyra Khan this time, so I think he'll be happier picking that one up. So I want to see what Old School's answer is to this. Maybe a Vayne angle right here, not bad. Maybe a Kai'Sa angle as well.
Okay, so Thresh didn't quite work for them last game.
Yes, please don't pick Thresh.
But this time around, you know, Aquino still has a couple of options. Maybe even go for something like the Janna. We saw how that was able to work for Team Secret and Hermes, being able to block a lot of the initiation. That seems like an appropriate response against Tribe.
Well, I'm quite curious about what the marksman pick is going to come out right now from Old School. I feel like you would want a 5th pick support to ensure that that lane, as well as the team compositions, get rightfully answered. Alright, we're just going with Braum here. And this means you might be right. This could be a really good Janna angle. It would deny the Vi very well, and it would punish the lane against Braum very well.
I'm getting pretty good at this pick and ban stuff.
You're getting pretty good, what's next, right? This is the pick here from Julie. What does he want into the Diana? I love it, let's go! Your tournament lives are on the line and you pick up the fish. You're gonna answer with this. I like this. You deny the Vi. Braum can never touch you. and you have a decent matchup here against the Diana.
Absolutely. Being able to have that chump the water now also puts the pressure onto Old School to make sure he has something with some safety. Without that, that's a big risk of getting caught out.
No, this is not what I want to do.
Playing into the Fizz now. SBTC.
Why?
Well, I think Rekizaro is going to be a little bit disappointed. He just mentioned something like, what, 17 games on that no-flash Braum. It looks like they're going to double down on it once again.
But the Braum is not entirely the issue here. When you pick up this Varus pick into the comp that SBTC are running, what did you say just now, Brendan? You need something for a bit of safety?
Yeah.
Even you identified that. Tried to not identify that. They need
Even
some
you?
sort of safety. Like, what is Poke gonna do against SBTC's team comp right now? I think in the last 2 games, Tribe dropped that very well, and that set them up for success. This time around, though, I have a feeling that this Varus pickup is gonna be the nail in the coffin for Tribe Gaming.
Okay, so different look for Tribe Gaming, similar for SBTC Esports. Are we still looking for a Kiro show? Quick
Hero
response?
Show? I mean, come on, let's be real here. There's a Fizz in the game. Do we really need to ask this question?
Okay, and for Tribe Gaming, does Old School still have its importance? Because
Yeah, that's the
previously,
thing.
he had DPS. Now with the
Yeah.
Varus, it's a different thing.
It's a different story altogether, and they need to play the lane a lot better. They need to get a lot more value out of this Varus in the early mid stages of the game. Because when you go to the later stages of the game, I think he's just going to get evaporated, eviscerated. He's going to be gone from your screens before you know what happened. And that's the problem here. With that said, the burden now is entirely on starting. He's the one that's required to cop off. And this time around, he has no one facilitating. It's all him. This is the pride and joy of NA. This is the player that you guys are touting as your star mid laner. He's coming in here. He had a great performance on Diana last game. Can he do it again by himself this game?
Look, keep it simple. Looking at Tribe Gaming, we expect great things for them. And the way they were able to bring the fight to SBTC, the way they were able to set things up and force SBTC to check into them worked so well for them last game. Now in game number 3, this is where everything matters. It's a clean state. Forget those past 2 games.
Best of 1.
It's a best of 1.
Starting fresh.
This is everything on the line for both these teams. If they want to keep their run in the Horizon Cup going, they must win here.
And I can't think of a more poetic way to decide this last game as well. The hero of NA, your new up-and-coming prodigy, starting, going up against Julie, who has been so consistently delivering on his signature pick in this Fizz. And I think that's a poetic way to close this one off. One of these teams gotta be sunsetted, riding off into the sunset. One of these teams still have a chance of making it to playoffs.
You missed such a great chance to say riding off in the horizon.
Okay, I'm off the cast, guys. That's it. I'm too tilted right now.
Well, there we go. Let's get things going. SBTC and Tribe Gaming both start this one off with a very safe position. Neither side really looking to go for anything too crazy, because if you end up losing a mid-exchange, for example, then things could go very poorly for you. I'm very curious to see how this bot lane matchup is going to go, because I feel like if Kuro is able to build a lead in this early game organically, he's going to be able to scale so much faster than Old School.
Yeah, and I love what Starting is doing in this lane right now. He started off with the shield because he knows that Fizz's trading patterns early rely very heavily around his second skill, and he needs to trade autos with you. If he's trading autos with you, you have a shield and damage from your shield, you're always going to come out on top. Chuck coming out on top in his trades as well. Now you see the map start to get split. It's top and mid for Tribe, going up against bot lane from SBTC. How's this going to play out?
You say that, but at the same time, looking at where TF is likely going to go, I think they're actually going to try and pick up both sides if possible.
Ideally, you always want both sides.
Yeah, looking at what's happening right now, you can see Aquino roaming by with TF trying to get more pressure down. Julie's going to bait something out. They might end up seeing a catch-off on Tri, forces the flash on T-Tigers, and that's a start for SBTC.
That's a start for SBTC, but they will not be able to control both sides of the map because Unero has been losing trades, because Aquino now has to return to the bottom lane. Look at this, they're playing chicken right now. They're playing chicken. TF does not want to start.
There we go, there's no flash, and TF comes in with a double knock of the double stun. One more attacks, the first of the blood for Julie, but yet Tribe are in here with the piercing arrow to take down the Fizz.
And this is all about tempo. If you're sacrificing tempo on your bot lane for Aquino to roam, that means in 10, 15 seconds, that's the timing window for Old School and Max Green to roam, and he find exactly that. Nice little cheeky play here from Aquino. Playing around tempo, yet again, stopping the recall of Starting. It looks like TF, he will be able to pick up double Scuttle Crab here, and that's going to be huge. Look at the chicken that they're playing right now. No one is starting us down for crap. TF does not want to start anything, he just wants to Tigers can get. Here we go, once again.
The fight continues. TF gets some good damage on the Max Green, and like we mentioned earlier, he doesn't have that flash. TF's gonna lose a lot of health. The heal comes in clutch, and T-Tigers falls again. Old school gets followed through with it's Kirill that comes in looking for the last kill. One more attack through the barrier. Kino's on the pursuit as well. Give him anything he needs. He's gonna get it all.
Starting might die here,
Starting loses so much HP. He's still level 4. He just came out of it.
They come true. They pick up the kills here. Kirill flashing in. We talked about the Kirill show last game. Well, not last game, 2 games ago, and he does it again this time. They blow so much to try to kill TF, and he manages to get out of dodge. Why? Because of Kirill. He heals him at the absolute last second. And Kirill might have seemed like a face block, but I think it was all calculated here. He gets onto Old School, and this was a bit of a copium play here from Starfik. He wants to save his marksman so badly. He has no ultimate, and that kill gave Kirill a fight. It gave him his ultimate. The True Shot Barrage to take that one down. The gold right now is in the pockets of the people who wanted it. Julie on this Fizz, Kirill on this Ezreal. You could not be happier if you were SBTC.
Look, that's the thing almost. Starling just came right out of the base, walked over, was still level 4, had no gold, no EXP, and Kirill punished him hard. SBTC now hold a lead in this early game, but how will things keep moving for this team?
Look, Brandon, Julie's going all in. He has the death cap right now on this Fizz. It's a 2,000 gold lead for SBTC, but keep in mind, it's barely even 4 minutes. It's basically 1,000 gold a minute, and that's what you love to see from SBTC. Okay, winning bomb. They're playing the way they need to. Julie might get baited right now.
Okay, things start off, but you always have that play for Trickster. It's an easy out to get away from any kind of engaged Glacial Fissure to get the lockdown to the Kino, but the Monsoon, where is it? It's too late. He still goes down, but John the Water comes in and the damage out. This first pick in game number 3 is massive.
They set up the bait so well there, Grandin. Akino, he survives just long enough to use that Monsoon. The Charm of the Waters comes in. The Ribbon, Broken Blade of the Exile, whatever you want to call it, it comes in as well. And they chop Tribe Gaming in half. And this is the problem. Their team comp is not cohesive like it was last game. It doesn't make sense. What are you trying to do here? You want to dive in. The Bears and Rob, they want to play out. You can't make up your mind. Your team is not in sync. Look at this.
This is the Axe Effect replay. Let's see how this one goes. Like you mentioned, Akino buys just enough time.
Akino buys enough time, but why does it matter? It's enough time not for Tribe Gaming to get in and secure the kill. It's enough time for SBTC to react and respond with their own ultimate. And this is what happens when your team comp is not cohesive. Half of you want to go in, half of you want to poke. You just don't have the synchronization here.
And a big problem for Tribe Gaming, but it's too late to change the draft now, so you just need to figure out what to do with what you have. And, well, Chuck, he's in a bad spot now because Akino's walking in, and I have to say, these Southeast Asian Jannas are just so wild.
Yeah, I mean, Scream Meta is something we touched on a little bit before, right? So you can assume that Akino and Hamas have been sharing these picks with each other in scrims. I'm not saying they're talking to each other, but you're playing against each other, I'm sure, pretty often, because you're from the same region, you're in different groups. These names a lot, and this Janna pick I think is something that's been rising to prominence here. It's a Southeast Asian special, and I'm glad they're bringing it back on the world stage.
And so important against a lot of these teams with hard engaged stuff like the Lee Sin that's looking to dive into your backline to take you out. You have to have some kind of response there. Well,
it's
now,
great against the Diana.
Exactly. Well, now we also have to take a look back at the state of the game because SBTC Esports, while we've been so infatuated with their play so far, they've also got the Dragon and the Riptail.
Oh, Chuck goes in. Oh, Chuck's gonna get taken down.
Absolutely. TS right there. They get the initial stun off, and that's enough damage to finish him off. Surely the barrier's gonna come out. He's under turret, but it's still gonna go down.
You're not safe under your own turret because you narrow on TF, Riven and Renekton. I can't think of a duo more mobile, more threatening than that once they get on top of it. They try to make a play to answer on the other side of the map. We saw what Julie could do on Diana in a 1v2 situation. This is even more slippery. I think he's happy to just toy around with Tribe Gaming right now.
And Rift Town is still available for SBTC. Didn't commit that for the Baron lane. They're still looking to try and find more value with it.
Yeah, and this is exactly why I don't want to see Tribe Gaming run a comp like this with their tournament lives on the line. Max Green, look at how he was playing in the last game. He was instrumental to their successes. This time around on the Brom, he's getting dragged around the map. He has no play to make. He can't be proactive, and this is not a good look for Tribe Gaming. Old school as well. His clutch plays in the last game were why they succeeded. Now in the Varus, what can he really do? What can he do as the Varus? Going up against a Fizz, a Riven, a Renekton at that.
huge problems. Even going for the Zion at this point without the Rakan might have been better because it allows for a little bit more safety. I know you mentioned and alluded to that Kaisa pickup, something that could have been more aggressive.
This is huge though. Rift Herald gets popped for the tier 2 right now. SBTC, they say, want to race. We will race you, and we are Lewis Hamilton right now. We are going down into your base. It's going to get a second charge onto the tier 2.
Alright, I don't quite get that reference, but I'll take it. That's going to be Julie. He goes down the mid lane, but he's bought enough time to escort the Rift Herald one tier deeper, going to get that charge on that inhibitor.
No, you're not diving this.
Unero, he's looking to force his engage. They jump on the max screen. He has enough damage to finish him off, but not with the crowd control blocking them, stopping them. TF's going to come in, and that's Chuck finally joining into the fight. The fight has been split up between two fronts. Aquino comes in to block a lot of the damage, send them on soon, send them away, and yet Tribe will come up ahead.
Tribe will come up ahead. That was an ambitious dive there for SBTC. Started out with Julie getting picked off in the mid lane while his team is in the bot lane. But SBTC, they're not afraid to take skill checks. They're not afraid to test you. They're not afraid to go up against you toe-to-toe. Every fight you want to take, we will do you one better. While his entire team was at bot lane, Julie just goes in it. Very ambitious.
Okay, that was actually super critical, the way he was able to instantly use the Chains of Corruption to get the catch onto Julie. If Julie is now aware of this, I see a very high chance he dodges away from him with his place.
It's the mind game, right? Because if you Chains of Corruption immediately, you get things predicted on. So they really just come down to a mind game.
And I really want to highlight Kiro's damage at this point, because while Chuck is able to soak up a lot of it, nobody else can. And once that Gargoyle Stone play is over, Kiro's hitting like a truck.
And I can tell you, playing Darius into an Ezreal, Janna, even a Fizz, it's not very fun. You kind of just feel like you can't reach anyone, you can't grab them. I just want to apprehend someone and spin, for God's sake. But you're never going to be allowed to do that.
Okay, SBTC, they're going to get corralled into the bottom end of this Dragon Pit. Julie's on the other side. He's in the mid lane. They have a chance to pincer this, but it's no way they can stop the Dragon.
Yeah, Tribe Gaming can never start this because of where you stare you menacingly from behind you, and you can never walk into the river. Tribe Gaming, they don't dare to start this, and Julie's playing chicken. Now, they don't know that he's receptive. Because of that, you get to reset off for free, and Tribe Gaming, they still lose out on tap.
Right, Vision over Dragon means so much more. Unero gets to come in now, and SBTC, they had the perfect window to go back to base. Look at the damage from Kiro. Yeah. One shot puts Sea Tigers basically down to half of the Dragon assisting.
And they can never start it because they can never do anything about Julie. This Fizz pick is so threatening right now.
Okay, watch out for Julie because he has a great angle to flank with the Chomp the Waters to set something up. And yet Tribe Gaming, they're watching T-Tigers. He's looking for a steal, but I don't think it's going to be worth it. TF looking for engage of his own.
Going T-Tigers.
Chomp the Waters is going to zone them now, but T-Tigers, he's caught off by the wrong side. Corrupting Chains comes out. It's barely going to stop SBTC, but your jungler still goes down.
That was desperation. Plain and simple for the Tigers. He needed something, and he made the wrong choice. His back was against the wall. Now that means SBTC, they get it all. Dragon, they get the kill, they get the Rift Herald. Are they going to get a chance to still make it into playoffs, Brendan?
Look at what happens. Smash Screen immediately exhausts Unero the second he dashes in, uses the cleave in. I think that just kind of sums up the situation. Tribe are feeling the pressure now.
They're starting to feel helpless, and this comes back down to two things. One, the draft. This is the first draft, I think, where SBTC, they got a clear advantage. Game 2 draft definitely went in Tribe's favor. Game 1 draft, there could be arguments for both. This time around, SBTC, they're showing us, if you give us the cards, this is what we do.
Absolutely, SBTC. Well, I think an absolute, incredibly high risk. I'm a little bit lost for words. Incredibly high risk taking.
Me too. Watching SBTC play like this, it brings a tear to my eye. This is the SBTC that we expected from day one. Took 2 days and 2 games, but maybe we finally see it.
I'm feeling it now. I'm starting to see some signs of life from SBTC, especially in this game. Well, Tigers leads the initial engage, but back screen, he goes down so quickly, and as it jumps the water, it forces the Hourglass out from old school, but he's stuck in stasis. This gives Unero the time to come in. Yeah, he's gonna go over the wall. It's the Quadra kill. It's a day of Quadras for everyone.
It's a day of Quadras, but where are the Pentas? I think SBTC, they don't care about it. They are exhausted. They've had some tiring, difficult games to get here, but it looks like finally, Grendon.
That Rift Herald.
That Rift Herald is still alive. They might go for the game here, Grendon. Maybe SBTC get here with a statement.
Surely that is a inhibitor. Nexus is open, but with the reduced damage on Nexus turrets from the Rift Herald, I don't think they can end things yet. But they will get that second inhibitor as well.
12 minutes, 2 inhibitors. I can't think of a better way to do it here for SBTC. Look at the scoreboard. 9 kills for TF, 5 for 5 for the 9 assists for Kiro. The kills are in the right place. The people who want to see stepping up are doing just that. Conversely, for Tribe Gaming, I hate that their tournament lives come down to a game like this, to a draft like this. But Max Green, he doesn't have the tools in his hand. I think that's a heartbreaker for him. Old school as well. He played so well in the last game. And we really need to see starting the man with the resources here to really just step up.
And that's the thing. If Tribe Gaming had more games to play, we could see their further growth. We've seen how they've gotten better over the course of the competition.
This is a good call. Death Rush went down.
But now against this form of SBTC, the draft makes all the difference. It's too little, too late. Tribe Gaming make a Hail Mary play to take down you now. They find the first take off, but TF is still alive, still available to take you down. Watch out for the rest of your team because they're losing their lives to this Riven. He got a quadra last time. This time he just gets a triple, but triple is enough for him. He says that's all he needs. Julie is looking at takedown starting. One last kill to finish things off. SBTC are prepared to win it all.
That was a heartbreaker there. Starting, he knew he was done for. And this is at 30 minutes of game. SBTC will come back alive.
And this means SBTC tournament hopes are still alive. They get another chance tomorrow. 2-1 against Tribe Gaming to make sure they get to keep playing on.
And Grandin, it's a poetic way to end this one. The closest one off. I wish I could be happy. I wish I could be delighted that they finally took a win. But we expected so much more here from SBTC. And hopefully this series, this match, was a first win, a first step of many more to come.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Omo. I'm looking forward to see what else we have in store. But at the same time, I want to give huge prompts to Tribe Gaming. Yep. Chuck tweeted out earlier today that regardless of what happens, they would come in here and play the best that they could, and they brought it to a 3-game series. They showed us a Tribe Gaming that has improved, adapted, and played to win conditions that they are good at. But SBTC will come ahead as the victors.
And I want to continue your point about Tribe Gaming. I think they have nothing to be ashamed of. They came into this as the underdogs for sure. And I think they still put on a show. They still put on some performances which they can be proud of. Individually, players as well. I think for me, Max Green definitely a standout. And I think this team, they have a long way to go for sure. But I think they should be happy with their Horizon Cup performance. With that though, SBTC. If I told you before the Horizon Cup that Day 3 would be the first time SBTC gets a win,
I'd say you're crazy.
You'd say I'm crazy, you'd say I'm a liar, all of those things. I might even be fired. But it's just insane to me that SBTC, it took so long. Look at that, hands are shaking as well for Aquino.
Oh my
I don't know if it's because he has to reach out his arms, but he had to give it over to Kiro. And I think, you know, when the ball was in his court, Kiro did deliver.
An amazing moment for SBTC as they keep their run going. Team Secret locked into the knockout stage. And SBTC, well, they have another chance tomorrow to keep things going and maybe vie for that 3rd seed, or maybe higher. I haven't done the math yet.
We'll do the math another time. That's not for us to say, but with that, both of these teams, they came in and they gave us a match for sure. It was a performance to be proud of from both of them, I think. Well, maybe not SBTC, but definitely Tribe. I think they played pretty well in that series. And I think their drafts especially, their gameplay, their game plans, especially in that game 2, that's something they can be proud of.
Look, definitely unbiased caster here. Straight unbiased caster. As well as our State Farm analyst, as I'm sure TJ is going to be an unbiased caster, giving us expert analysis with no opinions of his own. But that being said, let's toss it over to Digon and the rest to hear what they have to say, as SBTC will be able to continue the Horizon Cup run.
Thanks, Big G and Omo. Great cast on the day. SBTC get their first win of the tournament and are still alive. Tribe Gaming is officially eliminated from the Horizon Cup. Welcome back. Your boy Digon here with Rocky Zoro and TJ. And behind me is Kangas, because we mentioned earlier he guaranteed a beard shave if Tribe didn't make it out of groups. Now it's time to pay up, buddy. Kangas, get to work as we break down the action. TJ, take it away.
Well, first of all, I want to echo something that Omo said. I wish I could be proud. I wish I could leave this as full SBTC fanboy, but the truth is Tribe played very well. They forced SBTC all the way to their breaking point. And the other truth is we expect a lot of SBTC. They are the #1 seed out of SCA. They are the top team from Vietnam, an incredibly powerful mobile esports region. And that was not the performance we expected.
No, it wasn't, but they got the job done, didn't they, Rocky?
Yeah, I mean, I think their fundamentals are definitely there. We've seen one in their macro that they know how to move around the map, how to get themselves ahead, but perhaps there's a little bit of power lacking in their solo laners, especially in the case of top lane. But SBTC do move forward and will continue to have a chance to make it out of the group with a performance that isn't too great, but at the same time gets what needs to be done.
And if there is a silver lining here, it is the sort of life returning to their characters. I think that's what you have to walk away from as an SBTC fan, like myself, like Leonard over there on the cast. You see Julie diving into 1v3s, going for fights that we didn't see him doing during the rest of the group stage. You saw Hero being able to kite the back of team fights and deliver on the AD carry performances we've been missing. And if this win is what it takes to, restart the engine and give those players the confidence necessary that they can go into future games with mechanical play, that's good.
Yeah, TF also on the Riven looked really solid. He was making plays throughout all of early game. The first spot they got at mid lane was off of his knock-up flash that landed on 2 people. And then even in the Scuttle fight, he was a big carry for the team, and his Riven did come through really well. So a player we highlighted before that has consistently performed for SBTC, that perhaps they can build up on a little bit more, and then they will have what it needs to go far in the tournament.
Yeah, and TJ, you said maybe this is the catalyst for SBTC. Well, this is actually Tribe. So Tribe being the catalyst, they did put up a great fight and have a nice showing here. What are some of the positives, the silver linings that the NA team can take away with 1 game left, but eliminated?
Well, I think Sengoku actually put it very well earlier today. We had an interview with one of the Sengoku players, and they said the thing we're doing here is we're testing the waters, we're figuring out what we need to do to be competitive. And no, this wasn't a good tournament for North America, right? Tribe Gaming should not be happy with the results they got. But the global esports scene has been playing mobile games much longer with much more resources than North America. So I think the framing should be, what did we learn? And very clearly, North America learned that some things work. There's the aggression that North America is known for, that they were able to deliver on here. And I think we proved that certain star players, like Starting, who is able to deliver on some of those performances that we know regionally, have it at a micro level that can be delivered here on the world stage. I want to see more of that. I want to see in their final game tomorrow even more of the Tribe we know and love from their regional Summoner Series performance.
Rocky Zora?
I'd like to echo the sentiment. Whilst they still have 1 more game tomorrow, this sadly does lock Tribe out of playoffs contention. It does end their run forward for this tournament. But Tribe do go out in style, and I think it's important for the fans to still be proud of their team. And I think it's really important for the players as well to be proud of themselves for how far they did come to get to this point. At this point, it's about looking forward and ahead to next year, take back the lessons learned in this event, and help NA come back way stronger, hopefully, next time around.
Well, we know that one team that's still going to be there is SBTC, and La Tigris has Kirill standing by.
Hey everyone, following SBTC's victory, I am joined by the bot laner here in Kirill. I just want to know first, right off the bat, what this group stage journey has been like for you and getting your first series victory here today.
Cái hành trình này tại Horizon Cup thì cho đến hiện tại thì như thế nào đối với bạn? Và khi có được chiến thắng đầu tiên thì bạn cảm thấy ra sao?
Thì mình cũng khá là vui khi mà có được chiến thắng đầu tiên, và mình nghĩ là mình phải cần cố gắng ở trận đấu tiếp theo hơn nữa.
I'm incredibly happy with the first win in this tournament, but at the same time I know that there's still many things that we need to improve in the upcoming match.
In that effort to improve, but still come through strong and get those wins, we saw you on a lot of comfortable picks. You were playing the Ezreal all 3 games, a quadra kill at the start. How important was that to you all to get that victory in your footing?
Ngày hôm nay thì bạn đã chơi vị tướng Ezreal trong cả 3 trận đấu và thậm chí là bạn có được một cái quadra kill. Thì với cái việc mà chiến thắng được ngày hôm nay thì như thế này thì nó quan trọng như thế nào đối với bạn?
Thì mình nghĩ đây là một chiến thắng rất là cần thiết đối với team mình, và nó sẽ là nút thắt để gỡ ra tinh thần cho toàn đội.
the win today is extremely important for us because we were been through a lot of stressful moments and we have a lot of problems within a team. So it's very necessary for us to be winning at this part of the tournament.
And I know in an interview, Kano actually talked about the stress in your qualifying series and having to keep each other motivated. What are you saying to each other to keep yourselves in the right mind space to keep that stress at bay here at this tournament?
Akino cũng đã từng chia sẻ rằng đội đã gặp phải rất là nhiều những cái áp lực. Thì không biết rằng các bạn đã nói chuyện với nhau như thế nào để có thể gỡ bỏ được những cái áp lực về tâm lý như vậy?
Bọn mình nói chuyện với nhau khá là nhiều và bọn mình cũng đang cùng nhau giải quyết những vấn đề của team và thi đấu tốt hơn thôi.
We were trying to talk to each other a lot outside the matches, and we still trying to improve to fixing our problems so that we can come back stronger in the next match.
We could feel your energy when you're on the side of the stage and talking as a team. You do have another match that you need to win to be able to make it to the knockout stage, though, facing off against TSM. What do you make of them as opponents and your chances in that match?
Thì tất cả mọi người đều có thể cảm nhận được cái sự áp lực và tâm lý của SBTC khi mà mọi người rời khỏi sân khấu. Thì không biết rằng là với cái đối thủ tiếp theo là TSM thì bạn đánh giá như thế nào về đối thủ này và để có thể giành được cái chiến thắng và mình có thể bước tiếp vào những cái vòng thi đấu sau?
TSM là một đội khá là thú vị đối với mình. Nhưng mà dù họ có như thế nào nữa thì bọn mình cũng phải vượt qua họ thôi.
TSM is a very interesting opponent for us, but no matter what, we're gonna try to defeat them so that we can get through the group stage.
I know that you're going to try hard. Last question to you. I know that you are a favored region when it comes to this esport. Is that something that helps motivate you or is it additional pressure?
Cái việc mà SBTC được đánh giá rất là cao ở khu vực của bạn thì đây có phải là cái động lực để bạn có thể thi đấu tốt hơn hay đây trở thành một cái áp lực đối với bạn?
Mình nghĩ có thể là nó cả hai, nó vừa là động lực của nó vừa là áp lực luôn. Nhưng mà bọn mình cũng đang cố gắng chuyển những cái áp lực thành cái động lực và cải thiện ở trận đấu tiếp theo.
So the short answer is both because it was the motivation for us at the same time, but it was also the pressure. But we are trying very hard to turn the pressure into the motivation so that we can come back stronger.
I really like that. Really liked your play today, and thank you for your honesty in this interview and stopping by. Alrighty, everybody, we're going to close out the day with Degon and the gang at the State Farm Analyst Desk. Fellas, take it away.
Thank you very much, Gabby. Appreciate the interview there. I'm glad to hear that they kept talking through the adversity to work on through it, and that's so important. Again, I'm sure it was similar for both teams here, but SBTC closes out on top.
I think it's a good marker that SBTC are staying very humble and very focused after that, because as I think they mentioned in that interview, it is not a win that you can be proud of if you're SBTC. Their expectations were top 4 in this tournament at the very least. So the fact that those goals are now, we're going to get out of groups, we're going to figure out what's going on, is a good sign. And I hope they win tomorrow.
Araki?
I also do like that they're respecting their upcoming opponent in TSM. That matchup is going to be really hype because there's a lot at stake for both teams. And I do like that it's coming down to the very final day.
All right, well, before we look forward and closing out the day, let's take one last look at Kangas. Here's the before and after. There it is, y'all. There it is. What do you think, Rocky?
I like the mustache. I think it looks good on you. Didn't lose too much, but having to pay up your beard for an ace since must not feel very good.
This is weird. Let's take a look at how both groups stack up heading into the final day of matches here at the group stage of the Horizon Cup. All right, we return tomorrow with Team Queso versus Sengoku to kick things off, and then we'll pop on into Thunder Talk up against Ebro Gaming with SBTC facing TSM in match 3 and Tri vs Ralster Y to wrap up the group stage. quick thoughts on favorite matchup tomorrow.
Well, I do love the pressure that's on SBTC versus TSM. That's going to be a nail-biter for me, and that's why it's not my favorite match, because I'm going to be stressed. My favorite match tomorrow is the first of the day. It's two AOV-focused teams with Team Queso, their legacy EU roster, up against Sengoku with the former Arena Valor World Champions. I have favorites on both sides. No matter who wins, I win. And it's going to be a very good match.
Yeah, one of those de facto eliminations. What's your favorite here, Araki?
It has to be the one that I just mentioned, which is the SBTC Esports versus TSM. I'm very quickly becoming a big fan of Carlito, and I want to see more of his play, especially if he does manage to get the Galio. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup.
Yeah, well, final day. It's time for those teams to make the moves, and they got to do it very soon. Only 2 spots left to work their way on in. Hey, everyone, thank you for joining us. The last day of groups at Horizon Cup is going to be full of big-ticket bangers. Kangas, now your face matches the top of your head. There it is. We'll see y'all tomorrow for more Horizon Cup.